A Chinese man forced African kids to sing "I'm a black monster and my IQ is low." For those in a hurry, we'll start with a brief summary of the topic, followed by detailed information. Brief summary. A shocking video surfaced showing a Chinese man forcing African children to chant, "I'm a black monster and my IQ is low." What appears to be a playful scene is actually a cruel act of exploitation, targeting innocent kids who had no idea what they were saying. This incident isn't isolated. Across Chinese media, Africans are often portrayed as inferior, stupid, or laughable. African children are used as props for online entertainment, their poverty turned into profit and mockery. The video exposes a harsh reality: China's so-called partnership with Africa is built on inequality, control, and contempt. While Chinese leaders shake hands with African officials, ordinary citizens laugh at videos that humiliate children. The problem is deeper than a single clip. It reflects systemic racism, hypocrisy, and the abuse of power. China demands respect globally, yet refuses to show it to Africans. Outrage online is not enough, action is needed to protect children and assert Africa's dignity. This story should anger you because it's about more than a video. It's about respect, human value, and a continent being treated as a playground. Africa must stand tall, speak out, and demand accountability. Silence only allows the cycle of humiliation to continue. Detailed information. Introduction: a cruel scene that shocked the world. In 2022, a video emerged online showing African children being forced to chant a degrading song, "I'm a black monster and my IQ is low." Behind the cameras stood a Chinese man who arranged the entire performance. The clip caused outrage worldwide. The situation was not just a disturbing case of racism. It revealed deeper truths about the way many Chinese individuals and companies treat Africans, often with mockery, exploitation, and disdain. This single video became symbolic of something larger: China's relationship with Africa, wrapped in economic control but poisoned by contempt. The video that should never have been made. The footage came from Malawi, where the Chinese man named Luque operated. He produced hundreds of videos of local children, forcing them to sing phrases they did not understand. These clips were then sold on Chinese social media platforms for profit. Children were paid only pennies or nothing at all, while the producer made substantial earnings. To the Chinese audiences consuming this content, the children were not seen as human beings but as props for amusement. The laughter and money flowed in China, while humiliation and exploitation remained in Africa. The hidden industry of racist content. Luque was not an isolated figure. He was part of a disturbing industry where Chinese entrepreneurs in Africa record videos of children for entertainment. These videos are marketed as exotic and funny, and Chinese viewers consume them with little thought to the suffering behind the scenes. This is digital colonialism at its worst. Instead of chains, cameras are used. Instead of plantations, social media feeds become the marketplace. The result is the same: African bodies and identities are commodified, their dignity stripped away for foreign amusement. Why the words matter so deeply? The phrase "I'm a black monster and my IQ is low" is not random. It is steeped in historical racism. For centuries, Africans were demeaned as unintelligent and less than human. Colonial powers used such stereotypes to justify enslavement and exploitation. Forcing children to repeat these words is more than mockery. It is psychological violence. It teaches young Africans that their identity is something to be ashamed of. It reinforces damaging stereotypes that many societies still struggle to overcome. Chinese racism toward Africans, not an isolated problem. This incident highlights a wider pattern. In many Chinese cities, Africans have reported discrimination, eviction, and harassment. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Africans in Guangzhou were thrown out of hotels and apartments, blamed unfairly as virus carriers. Chinese media has also repeatedly broadcast racist depictions of Africans. In one Lunar New Year gala watched by millions, a skit featured a Chinese actress in blackface with exaggerated features, playing an African mother. Such portrayals are seen as normal entertainment in China, but to Africans, they are humiliating reminders of contempt. Exploitation behind economic deals. China presents itself as Africa's partner, building roads, mines, and infrastructure. But behind these grand projects often lies exploitation. African workers are paid less, given fewer protections, and subjected to harsh working conditions under Chinese companies. The racist videos fit into the same pattern. Africa becomes a resource, whether minerals, land, or even children's images for Chinese profit. The humiliation is not accidental, it is a reflection of the power imbalance that Beijing and many of its citizens hold over African lives. Outrage across Africa. When the Malawi video surfaced, it caused shock and fury across the continent. African commentators called it modern slavery with a digital twist. Human rights groups demanded accountability. Many Africans asked the same question: why do Chinese feel entitled to treat us this way? The anger was not just at one man, but at the larger system that enables such behavior. For years, Africans have raised concerns about racist treatment from Chinese businesses and individuals. The video only confirmed what many already suspected: China does not respect African people, only their resources. How China responded. When the scandal broke, China's official response was predictable. The government distanced itself, calling the man's actions unacceptable while insisting that China and Africa share a bond of friendship. Yet for Africans, these words rang hollow. Friendship is not built on exploitation, and solidarity cannot coexist with humiliation. China wanted the problem to be seen as one individual's misbehavior. Africans saw it as a symptom of something larger. The role of social media in spreading racism. The rise of platforms like TikTok, Kuaishou, and WeChat in China has created a demand for bizarre, shocking, or exotic content. African children have become unwitting participants in this digital economy. By forcing kids to chant racist slogans, Chinese video producers supply their home audience with content that feeds stereotypes. These videos are not just jokes. They reinforce the idea that Africans are backward, funny, and inferior, ideas that many Chinese viewers already believe. A digital echo of colonialism. When European colonizers exploited Africans, they justified it with claims of superiority. Today, when Chinese producers make money by humiliating African children, they repeat the same logic in a new form. The smartphone camera becomes the whip. The uploaded video becomes the plantation field. And the audience, comfortably seated in their apartments in Shanghai or Beijing, laughs as the old prejudices are dressed up as entertainment. Psychological damage to African children. The children in these videos often do not understand the words they are saying. But over time, humiliation takes root. Repetition of phrases like "I am stupid" or "I am a monster" shape self-perception. These children grow up internalizing shame. They learn that foreigners can use them for profit, that their image is not their own, and that their dignity is negotiable. The scars left behind are not visible, but they are real. Global backlash and condemnation. The international community reacted strongly to the Malawi video. Media outlets across the globe condemned the act. Human rights groups demanded stronger measures to protect African children from such exploitation. China's reputation in Africa took another blow. Already criticized for debt traps, environmental destruction, and worker abuses, Beijing now faced accusations of fostering cultural disrespect and racism. The long history of anti-black racism in China. Racism toward Africans in China is not new. In the 1980s, African students in Chinese universities faced violent riots, harassment, and expulsion. Stereotypes of Africans as criminals, drug dealers, or uneducated remain widespread in Chinese society. This history explains why a Chinese man in Malawi felt no hesitation in degrading children for entertainment. His actions did not exist in a vacuum. They grew out of decades of normalized prejudice. Why this matters for Africa's future. The Malawi video is more than a scandal. It is a warning. If Africa continues to allow foreign powers, whether Western or Chinese, to define African identity, the continent will remain trapped in cycles of exploitation. The fight is not only for resources and independence but also for dignity. Allowing children to be humiliated for profit undermines the struggle for a stronger, self-respecting Africa. Conclusion: the world sees the truth. The image of African children chanting "I'm a black monster and my IQ is low" will not be forgotten. It exposed not only one man's cruelty but also the arrogance and racism that too often accompany China's presence in Africa. Africans deserve more than infrastructure.